I have never played a Souls game before until now. I've been battered and beaten down, and I've died so many times in Elden Ring. But I've also learned, gotten stronger, and reigned victorious. After 12 hours, 1 minute, and 37 seconds in the lands between, this has been my experience. Admittedly, the first 6 hours of my time in Elden Ring was filled with a lot of boneheaded moves and mistakes. It took me ages to figure out how to lock on to enemies. It took me forever to learn how to sprint, and I really had no idea what I was doing when it came to combat either. I was also super uninformed when it came to leveling. And here's the thing, I know that this is the case. So you know what I'm going to do about it? I'm going to learn. My last trial by combat had me finally taking down the Bloodhound Knight Darrowell. After some 40 deaths or so, my reward for pursuing greatness was the Bloodhound's Fang. Then, after releasing the last episode of this series, the comment section made sure I was aware of how important this weapon would be to my journey in the lands between. Additionally, someone else mentioned that the dismounter that I previously had gotten from one of the rider boys was also a really good weapon and could be dual wielded with the Bloodhound's Fang. Okay, now that is one hell of an idea. All right, now looking at the Bloodhound's Fang, the required attributes are 18 strength and 17 dexterity. I currently have 16 dexterity and only 14 strength. Now, if I look at my dismounter, the required attributes are 19 strength and 16 dexterity. Okay, now I remember people telling me in the comments that I can actually two-hand a sword, and if I did that, the game would actually give me extra attributes to make up the difference. There we go. Now that I am two-handing the Bloodhound's Fang, it's time to go test out my new powerhouse weapon. I am also going to use this as an opportunity to get better at my combat. A few things I need to improve on is properly dodging into attacks, hitting the critical strike after breaking the enemy's poise, and utilizing the correct attacks to get the best possible DPS in battle. And also, seeing as this weapon is brand new to me, I need to learn the weapon-specific attacks as well. Now that I've learned more about the Bloodhound's Fang, it's time to try dual wielding with the dismounter to see how it works out with me not meeting the attribute requirements. Okay, I can immediately notice a massive drop in DPS, especially compared to dual wielding my scimitars. Well, before I try dual wielding the Bloodhound's Fang and dismounter again, I'll need to meet those requirements. Otherwise, I am willfully limiting my damage output greatly. I continued to examine the menu to learn the specific details about my new exciting weapons, and I familiarized myself with the attribute scaling. I do have one thing that is seriously confusing me. I still don't meet the base attribute requirements, so should I focus on leveling my strength to 19 so I can meet those requirements for both weapons, or should I just focus on leveling my vigor and dexterity? This is a question that would continue to have me in a stranglehold as I continued progressing in the lands between. Remember the Gatefront ruins? Yeah, last time I was over there, it took me half a century to take everyone down, and when I finally did, apparently I left behind some chests in the big carts. At least that's what the comments have told me. So let's go investigate. I made it to the first cart, and wow, there it was, right there in the open the whole time. A Lord Sworn's great sword. It actually looks like a pretty good weapon. The only thing is, once again, I don't meet the base attribute requirements to use it one-handed. I need 16 strength. Let's try it out on these guard boys while I find the next chest. I wanted to start trying to learn the jump attacks. The only problem is I haven't been able to do it right just yet. I practiced on the guard boys, and after several attempts, I started to figure it out. It definitely looks like it works better on enemies without shields, at least so far. I made it to the next chest, and behold, a flail. I once again did not meet the attribute requirements, but hey, let's try it out anyway. Who knows, maybe this pointy ball on a chain will be better than my Bloodhound's Fang. I tried it out on some guard boys, and yeah, no, not particularly a fan. I had to run away, and as I tried to switch weapons, I fell off the the cliff and died, I decided to try out the dismounter in two-handed fashion while farming some guard boys at the gatefront ruins. I've been learning how to be better in combat, and I faced off against the leader once again. I kicked things off, attempting to do a jump attack, but I whiffed miserably. I followed it up with some strong swings. I backed up and attempted my jump attack again, and this time, I landed it. I took a few stabs, but continued to slash the leader. After drinking a flask, he stabbed me a couple more times, but it wasn't enough. Once again defeated the leader of the gatefront ruins and got a new armor set, Godric Knight Armor. Now that's an upgrade. I leveled my dex to 17, and now it's time to pursue yet another challenge. I've been wanting to find out what is beyond Stormgate, and since last time I wasn't able to push past the ambush after defeating the massive boy, I decided to try once again as I seek to progress further in the lands between. I called in my lone wolf spirits and one-shot the massive boy with my bloodhound's fang. After taking down the ambushing guards, I stepped foot into Stormhill. As I approached, there was a beautiful glowing tree to my right. I got a golden seed. I have heard about these trees and their seeds, but I haven't seen one until now. I made it past a group of wolves and found my way to the next site of grass, so I touched it. Now that I finally have a golden seed, I used one to give me a fourth flask of crimson tears. Now, before I talked to this red-hooded gal, I went back to the Church of Ella. I wanted to know if I could upgrade my Bloodhound's Fang. I'm really starting to like it. Turns out I had one somber smithing stone, so I improved it to +1. While I was at it, I had enough runes to level up again, but I am seriously really struggling. From what I can understand, if I level my dex, it will work better with my weapons scaling, enhancing my DPS. However, I want to be able to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and my dismounter, and in order to do that, I need to meet the attribute requirements. I am genuinely confused here. I decided to level up my dex to 18, but I'm honestly not sure if that was the right move. I entered the Stormhill Shack to speak with this red-hooded gal. She talked about people being dismembered and stuck to a spider. What is a chrysalid? She continued on talking very creepily, and she mentioned Stormvale Castle. I definitely think that that is where the first story boss is going to be. Everyone keeps talking about that place. I kept talking to Little Red Riding Hood, and she was kind enough to give me spirit jellyfish ashes. You know, I guess that's why I should always finish the NPC's dialogue before heading out. Free gifts! She finished things up by mentioning the chrysalids in Stormvale Castle, yet again. She is definitely giving me the heebie-jeebies. I started perusing the area nearby and found a cemetery to pillage. I found an unbelievable amount of golden runes out here. After consuming the golden runes, I leveled up my vigor to 20, giving me even more HP to help me survive in the lands between. I used my increased HP and took down the massive boy once again, but this time from their hiding spot up on top of Stormgate. I used the runes I looted and went to level up again. I am still, though, really conflicted about leveling my strength. I just want to be able to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and dismount her. Well, not this time. I put my runes into my vigor to level up to 21. I went adventuring further and found a new site of grass, so you know I had to touch it. An armored knight was standing in this busted shack, so I approached. His name is Bernal, and apparently he is the War Master. He offered to teach me new skills. Well, hell yeah! He's got a ton of different ashes of war I can learn. I don't want to spend the runes just yet, but I will definitely be back later. Up ahead was a camp of guard boys, and since I'm going to be the Elden Ring warrior, I defeated them all. While I was there, a message read, "Behold, cave." The only problem is I can't seem to find the cave. I searched and searched, but the only thing I found was this weird giant pot-looking thing stuck in the ground. I approached. His name is Alexander, Iron Fist Alexander, and he wished me to hit him from behind with something nice and big. Oh, don't worry. I can do that. He mentioned something about a festival of combat taking place at Redmane Castle. That sounds quite interesting. I may have to stop by there in the future. My next step was to level up my endurance to 12. I know, shocking. My thought process was that I have been running around with a heavy load now that I'm using my Bloodhound's Fang, and I thought if I leveled my endurance, I would increase my load capacity enough to help. Alas, it wasn't enough. This freaky boy on the bridge kept bashing his head on the ground, so I decided to help him out on his way to glory. I ran after him and landed a jump attack to chunk him quickly. He used his overpowered headbutt to take me down to a quarter health. But no matter, I drank a flask, dove into his attack, and struck him one final time to defeat the freaky boy. Not gonna lie, I'm actually really riding high right now with my combat. Not that I am perfect or anything, because I am certainly not, but man, I'll tell you what, I have improved greatly since my first battle with the Soldier of Godric. I stepped back into Limgrave and approached a cemetery where these skelly boys came after me. This is kind of weird though. After I kill them, they keep coming back. And now I've got a bunch of them running after me. Bro, what is happening? Do they just not die? I feel like this is a cursed area or something. I saw a red-caped boy standing over a dead person. I waited for the skelly boys to de-aggro, and I spoke with the red-caped boy. He said his name is D, and he warned me about a village that spells certain death, that I should not go visit. Well, that's interesting. I think I want to visit the Mariner now. Sounds exciting. We might just do that. Sorry, D. Do you remember that cave I was looking for? Yeah, me too. I really want to find it. The last time I was in a cave, I went to battle with the Beastman of Farum Mazula, and I have improved my combat skills greatly since then. I could go for another cave boss battle, or who knows, maybe there's just some cool lore or even a chest awaiting me. I continued to search and search and search some more. I determined that the cave had to be at a lower elevation, perhaps at the bottom of this chasm, but as I was looking, I accidentally got the attention of this massive boy who has to be hungry. Holy shit, it doesn't even have a stomach. Unfortunately, I wasn't exactly ready for this battle, and as such, I made one too many mistakes, and the massive boy smashed me into oblivion. Alright, that's kind of annoying, but time for revenge on the massive boy. This time I drew them to me, and I put in some quick slashes while dodging through their attacks. Mostly. I took a couple stomps, drank some flasks, and whiffed my jump attack yet again. Then, something unexpected happened. Oh, you silly massive boy. I took this opportunity to perform a jump attack, and I got my revenge on the massive boy. Now, with that out of the way, I need to get back to finding the cave. I kept going lower in elevation and found this site of grass by some ruins. I think I might actually be getting somewhere. I touched grass and got a quick rest and took a leap of faith to the bottom of the chasm. I am definitely a little bit freaked out right now as I see a multitude of messages on the ground telling me that there is something up ahead. I don't think these jellyfish are bad though. They won't attack me. As I approached the dead guy on the rock, more skelly boys showed up. After landing a perfect jump attack, I realized that I have to slash them again after they've been knocked down to truly kill them. Man, I wish I had known this earlier at the cemetery. I took down the rest of the skelly boys and continued on within the chasm. I feel like I have to be getting close to the cave, right? I read a message on the ground that confirmed my suspicion. And with that, I found the cave I was looking for. Murkwater Catacombs. I'm always glad to see a site of grass at a new area that looks scary. It gives me the reassurance that I will go into this potential fight as prepared as possible. I went down the steps carefully, and after reading an important message, I started off my battle by attacking what looked to be a statue in the corner. I thought they were dead, but alas, after hitting me with a slew of attacks, I realized I hadn't finished the job yet. I took the second one much more efficiently. The next enemy I think is above me, but where? Oh, okay, there they are. I hit him with the jump attack and continued onward. I am met with two passageways, one to the right and one straight ahead. The one straight ahead looks like where I need to go first, and as I moved forward just a little bit, I got the attention of the cave boys. They started throwing rocks at me. All right, I got this. I ran forward for a jump attack, but was surprised by another to my left. As I ran back to drink some flasks, I started getting shot with fire arrows? Where the hell are these coming from? Now I only have one flask left and I have no idea what else is down here. I have to be mega careful. Bro, more fire arrows? Just like that, I was out of flasks and out of ideas. There had to be a reason those cave boys were in here, right? I tried investigating, but the only thing I could find was this lever, and it didn't give me a prompt to activate it. I guess maybe I need to go down the other pathway first? I proceeded down that route. I read a message that read, "Trap ahead," and it clicked with me. There's a pressure plate on the ground that I kept walking over. That's where the fire arrows were coming from. I avoided the plate and went to battle with the cave boys once more, taking one out quickly, but then getting hit from behind. Without any flasks of crimson tears left, I am one hit away from death. But the problem is that if I go back to the site of grass, I will have to fight the cave boys again. So I guess we shall proceed. Locked by some contraption. What does that mean? I haven't missed anything so far, right? Maybe it's the lever back in the room that I couldn't activate before? Let's go back and see. Okay. Yep, there we go. Did I just miss the prompt before? No matter. The large door has opened, and yep, there's a mist at the bottom. That 100% means there is a boss ahead. Now, there is no way I can beat the boss with how little health I have, but maybe I can just use this first attempt to figure out what the fight looks like. I traversed the mist and was met with the Grave Warden Duelist. He looks like a tough fella. Oh my. I hit him first with a jump attack, knocking 208 damage into him. But it didn't matter because he hit me with the "Thou shalt not live," and I fell for my 92nd death in the lands between. The Grave Warden Duelist actually looks like a really interesting boss with a cool boss room. I'm actually kind of excited to get back there. The only thing I need is to be very efficient with these cave boys because I cannot go back into that boss battle with so little health again. I picked apart the cave boys one by one, and this time didn't set off the fire arrow trap. I did get reamed from behind though. I played that room so poorly. Well, that wasn't the revenge tour I was expecting. I started things off going directly for the left cave boy and then baited the next one too. I ain't dying in here again. I avoided the one on the left this time and cleaned up the rest in the lever room. I turned back and jump attacked my way to defeating the rest of the cave boys, only using one of my flasks. Now, it's time to duel with the Grave Warden Duelist. My plan of attack is to wait for him to approach me and then hit him with my heavy attack. I'm going to focus on trying to break his poise. I kicked it off by landing a few attacks as I learned his movement and patterns. He brought me to 2/3 health, and as he leaped after me, I broke his poise and chunked him down to 1/3 health. I took a few more hits and drank my remaining flasks. He dove after me and I dodged just in time, giving me an opening to attack his weak side. I timed up my final strikes and landed the final blow. Grave Warden Duelist, you are mine. You know what we have to do. Wow. I defeated that boss in 2 total attempts. 2. That is my best battle yet in the lands between. And realistically, the only reason I died on my first attempt is because I didn't have any flasks of Crimson Tears. I am completely blown away by how this battle went. Man, dude, I am feeling real good. I traveled back to the Church of Ella and wrestled with what I would level up this time. I finally decided it was time I put it into my strength and leveled it to 15. I really do want to be able to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and my dismounter. Before I move on, I wanted to go back to the first step to talk to that gray stand-up citizen from the first episode. I have a feeling I didn't finish the dialogue with him last time. I'm glad I did go back because he told me that the demigod at Castle Stormvale is Godric the Grafted. Ah, now it's all making sense. It all started with the soldier of Godric Godric, and here soon I'll take down Godric the Grafted himself. Now that I'm riding high off my victory against the Grave Warden duelist, I decided to go find that death village that Dee told me about earlier. I noticed this purple glowing figure on a boat. Is that the mariner I was told about? It definitely looks like this is a boss zone of some kind. Before going right after the boss, I went around the right side to get a lay of the land. I met a couple skelly boys and knocked them down. As I continued to progress, I found a couple turtles standing by what looks like a tunnel. Oh, okay, so this is what I used those stone sword keys on. All right. The white fog dissipated, and I walked down the stairs. I found my way into a room with a bunch of turtles. Why do all these messages keep calling them dogs? Is that a thing in From Software games? Are these turtles seen as friendly dogs or something? I really do not understand. I lifted the steel door and found a chest. I was met with a green turtle talisman. Don't mind if I do. After re-emerging on the surface, I called in my lone wolves and went to battle with the Tibia Mariner. A skelly boy came out of the water glowing red. He was easy. I went to find the Tibia Mariner, but instead found another skelly boy. At this point, I'm wondering if this boss battle is more about taking down the mobs than the boss themselves? I ran after the Mariner and landed some opening blows. He's not exactly fighting back. What exactly is this guy's move? Okay, I guess he kinda attacks. After getting him to almost half health, I took down a couple more skelly boys while my wolves had the Mariner occupied. For some reason, he was trying to row into this wall. Do I have this guy poise locked or something? He teleported once more, and I charged after them again. I whiffed my jump attack yet again. What else is new? I backed up to get a couple more hits. I dodged out of his attack and charged one final time and hit my jump attack and finished him off. Tibia Mariner, you are mine. You know what we have to do. I'm gonna keep it a buck with y'all. Why was that fight so easy? Was the Tibia Mariner supposed to be easy? Or have I just improved my combat knowledge so much that I knew exactly what to do? Bro, I seriously just beat him in one attempt. I mean, I'm ecstatic right now, like for real, but I'm also so confused. Am I really starting to become the Elden Ring warrior that I set out to be so many hours ago? Hell yeah, I am. I set off looking for the next site of grass. They usually have one nearby a boss battle, but I couldn't find it. I kept having to search farther and farther, and eventually found these ruins called the Third Church of Merica. I touched grass. This golden-looking ball lay ahead of me, a flask of wondrous physique. All right. I also got a crimson crystal tear. Now about that purple glowing ball. Ah, a sacred tear. I feel like I've heard about those. What are they for again? Oh, hell yeah. I can use them to increase the HP I get from my flasks. Finally. I am starting to think that here soon I will be able to journey to Castle Stormvale and take on Godric the Grafted. Now with that said, I currently have some unfinished business in the Weeping Peninsula that I would like to attend to. Before I go to Castle Stormvale, I need to head to Castle Morne. Let's go see if Irina is still off the pathway. She might have something new for me. And she did. After telling me about the escape that she conducted for herself, she asked me to deliver a letter to her father, the commander of Castle Morne. I accepted and set off through the Weeping Peninsula. Remember that massive boy from before that I didn't want to tussle with? Yeah. Let's go tussle with him. I approached slowly from behind and landed a couple quick strikes. My skelly spirits helped me to break his poise, and just like that, I had an entrance to their rear. I'll tell you what, man, at this point, I know it looks like I'm just killing basic boys, and I actually think that's true, but it really feels good to be figuring this stuff out, man. I decided to take a pit stop over at the site of grass and pumped some more runes into my strength to level up to 16. One step closer to being able to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and my dismounter. As I was looking around, I realized that there was a spirit spring that could possibly get me on top of the tower above. Aha! It worked! What's this? A great turtle shell? Is this what I needed to get into the blue door tower? We'll save that for another time. I saw one of those weird boys down at the base of the wall in front of a glowy thing. I'm kind of curious what's down there. Let's go find out. As I traversed the broken wall for the first time, I couldn't seem to find where the weird boy and the glowy thing were. Holy shit! I found something else though. There's a massive archer boy like 10 football fields away just sniping me with these insanely large arrows like I'm a dragon or something. The good thing is that it's not too hard to dodge them, it looks like. I noticed another one of those beautiful golden trees nearby. I mounted Torrent and sprinted away. I made it safely to the golden tree and collected my second golden seed. The more I think about it, I am wondering if that massive archer boy is actually protecting Castle Morne, which of course is where I'm headed. So I think my new plan is to take a look around the outskirts first to figure out my best course of action for Castle Morne. I found this glowing dung beetle. I haven't seen one of those before. What the? Did that thing just disappear? All right, I guess I just gotta be quick about it. Bro, every time I get there, it just goes away. I probably need a ranged attack for this, don't I? I don't currently have my crossbow on my person, so I gotta go back to a site of grass to get it from my storage chest. Now, I just have one problem. I have absolutely no idea how to fire this crossbow. I'm used to shooter games where you have a crosshair to work with, but this crossbow ain't got a crosshair. After several shots, I managed to take down the dung beetle. All for some poison mist? Interesting. I noticed a freaky encampment with lots of crucifixions going on. Yeah, I think I'm gonna leave that one alone for a while. I got back on Torrent and set off for Castle Morne and the massive archer boy. After getting a closer look, this dude looks absolutely nuts. He looks like he's completely made up of iron and has fire everywhere. Kinda looks badass, not gonna lie. Would love to get an armor set like him. I bided my time to observe and plan out my attack. After launching an arrow of my own at him, I decided that 45 damage just isn't gonna cut it. I once again equipped my Bloodhound's Fang and pursued the massive archer boy from the ground. My attempt at Serpentine didn't go all that well as he shot Torrent and I. How rude! I hopped off and absolutely chunked his leg. And just as fast as the battle began, it ended. Bro, why the hell was that so easy? This dude was massive. Seriously, am I like over leveled for this area now or something? I really don't understand how the enemies went from near impossible for me to somehow incredibly easy. I swear to God, I'm not cheating. Even still, I continued up the castle steps. A site of grass awaits me just inside the gates, which certainly means I've got a fight coming up ahead. After being a nuisance and destroying the place, I touched grass. I approached the old school elevator just ahead and continued my way upward to what I presume will be something not so pleasant. Slashing required ahead. Good thing I've got my trusty Bloodhound's Fang to do the slashing. Immediately, I notice fire and a massive mound of dead bodies with several weird boys worshipping. Bro, what is wrong with these folks? I can tell this is going to be a bit of a fight, so I called in my skelly spirits for assistance. I started things off going to the left. I don't want to be flanked again. Ah, yes, more of those dog creatures. Easy. Before I go and fight the worshippers on the mound, I want to figure out how to best pursue this. I took one down and waited for another to approach. My skelly boys are putting in some work. I didn't realize there was a big weird boy over here too, till after they came after me. I was not expecting that. I almost got tanked, but don't you remember? I'm going to be the Elden Ring warrior. Unfortunately, I had to use 2 of my flasks in that encounter, so now I only have 3 left for this castle, and I have a feeling there's going to be so many more enemies ahead. This poor guy. There's a much bigger enemy under this arch. I think I'm gonna have to face him in order to progress further. I ran up from behind and hit him with a jump attack, and finished the job soon after. Now I am down to 2 flasks of Crimson Tears. I started walking up these stairs, but then I remembered that I saw another room just behind me that I wanted to check out first. I went to explore, and there was a chest. chest. A claymore was my reward. Okay. I will say, now that I have this Bloodhound's Fang, I'm not quite as interested in these other weapons I keep looting, but I'll definitely hang on to it. The room continued downward, and I noticed some more weird boys pestering a guard, so I came in and took them all down. I did get chunked again though, so that's not good. With my last remaining flask, I climbed the ladder to see what lay ahead of me. I heard a lot of commotion. Ah, now this is convenient. I'll just let them kill each other and I'll come in for the cleanup on aisle 9. Nice. I'm really starting to feel nervous though, as now I have no more flasks after taking yet another hit. But I continued on. I'd really love to know what the hell happened here. And also, where is the commander at? Was he killed in this wreckage? This weird boy came charging after me, and that's pretty rude, so I killed him. Be wary of bird. Okay, I guess one of them are gonna fly after me? I'll take this slow. Yep. That's exactly what's happening. I got one down and tried to figure out how to hit the second. I knocked him to the ground and got the kill. Hey, look, now I have feathers. Unfortunately, I'm also really hurting. I'm at 2/3 health and no flasks to my name. This cannot be good. Oh my, yes! There's a sight of grass. Holy cow, you don't understand my relief. I was seriously thinking that I had to do this whole castle from one side of grass. Phew. I used this new opportunity to level up my vigor once more to 22, giving me 700 HP for the battles ahead. And with that, I set off once more. I accidentally fell through this hole, and after quickly killing a weird boy, this slime boy started pestering me. I don't think piercing damage is the best, but whatever. I took down a couple more weird boys and approached this big weird boy. Excuse me, you're kind of in my way. Ow! Hey, stop that! Bro, are you serious? All right, let's just ignore what just happened, please, and skip to the part where I got past the big weird boy. Yeesh. Alrighty, up the ladder we go. I found another chest, this time containing a twin blade talisman. Don't mind if I do. Enhances final hit of chain attacks. Okay, I'll keep this in mind for the future. It looks like I actually need to start going downward to progress. I think I'm actually going outside of the castle and behind it. I'm guessing that somewhere around here is the boss and perhaps also the commander. Let's keep looking. Oh, great. Mandatory parkour. I hope I don't die here. Of course I didn't die. I'm a baller like that. I failed at a super sneaky jump attack and went to battle with some big ass rats. Nothing too difficult. One of them dropped a rune arc. Interesting. This weird boy was being kinda weird. A helpful message told me that there was grass to my left. Yes! I was hoping there would be another. This must mean I am getting closer to the boss, right? Ah, yup. There's a mist right over there. That's got to be where the boss is. I set off across the bridge and went to battle with the big weird boys once again. After killing the first, I fell off the bridge, but luckily took no damage. I ran around the left side of the structure and found another somber smithing stone. I can use this to level up my Bloodhound's Fang again. I climbed the ladder expecting there to be an unfinished fight, but somehow the flying weird boy was gone. All right, I guess we'll just head over to the boss. I started running to the land behind the mist to see what was there, and oh no! Bro, I can't swim. I was not paying attention at all right there. Holy cow, dude. I keep dying from stupid stuff. I chose to bypass the weird boys because I don't actually think I need to kill them here. I could probably just go straight to the mist. I approached and entered to meet Leonine Misbegotten, the boss of Castle Morne. He came charging after me and knocked me to half health after slashing me twice. All right, no biggie. Let me do the same. I dodged his attack and blocked the next. I struck 2 more times before breaking his poise and landing the critical strike. Just like that, he's down to 1/3 health. I blocked 2 more of his attacks and landed 3 more strong blows of my own to fell my first great enemy. Leonine Misbegotten, you are mine. You know what we have to do. Holy cow, man, are you serious? I just one-shot the boss at Castle Morne, who just happened to be my first great enemy I've faced in the lands between. Let's go! He dropped the grafted blade greatsword, which looks incredible, except for the fact that it has a strength requirement of 40. Bro, that means I can't use this weapon for ages. Either way, I am absolutely shocked right now. I seriously don't know what's happening. I feel like every enemy I face is getting easier and easier, but they should be getting harder and harder. Am I actually getting better at Elden Ring? Amazing achievements aside, I still haven't found the commander, and I have no idea where he would be. I just beat the boss, so where's the commander? I searched the area, but to no avail. Admittedly, y'all, I searched for a long time and got a little frustrated, so I did look up my question. Apparently, there are multiple routes through the castle, and I think the commander was down a route that I did not take. So I went back to the beginning and set off to find the different path. I remembered that by that big boy under the arch, there was a ladder that I chose not to climb last time. So I climbed it. Lo and behold, it indeed did lead me to the commander of Castle Morne. Edgar was his name, and he did seem to be quite defeated. He apologized for failing and gave me a sacrificial twig. In return, I gave him the letter that Irina asked me to deliver. He said he couldn't yet leave as he needed to keep the treasure sword of Morne from going to the enemy, but he did say that he would soon reunite with Irina still. And with that, I have completed my expedition at Castle Morne. Out of curiosity, I went back to speak with Irina to see if her story had progressed since my recent triumph, and oh no, they killed Irina. Her father Edgar wept at her lifeless body. This was so sad to see. Unfortunate as it is, for me, I have actually achieved much. I tested my strength time and time again, and after pursuing Leonine Misbegotten at Castle Morne, I am feeling very confident in my progression toward becoming the Elden Ring warrior. But first, I headed back to the Church of Ella and leveled up my strength to 17, almost giving me the ability to dual wield my Bloodhound's Fang and dismount her. And trust me, where I am going next, I will need them. The first 6 hours of my time in Elden Ring were amazing, but as you would know if you've seen the previous videos, they were also insanely hard for me, man. Being brand new to the genre of Souls-likes, I have had a major learning curve to try and figure out how to survive in the lands between. But the last 6 hours have been just incredible. I am very clearly learning the mechanics of the game, and it is making me feel much more excited about continuing on because I feel like I can actually start to hold my own in the battles to come. I know that the game is only going to scale up and get harder and harder, but I feel like my basis of understanding is much stronger now, and I should be able to start building on that a lot easier, which would then in turn help me to also scale up with the game. At least that's the way that I'm thinking about things. I probably sound very naive to y'all, but even still, after 12 hours of Elden Ring, I can confidently say that I plan on staying in this world for as long as I can, because it truly has been a pleasure and I can't wait to see what lies ahead. Thank you guys so much for stopping by the video today. And if you are still watching at this point, you are incredible and I thank you greatly. I sincerely hope you've enjoyed my fun little adventure in the lands between, and if you have, I ask you to please subscribe. I plan on making videos just like this on Elden Ring and also many other amazing games in the future, so if that interests you, consider becoming part of the community. But with that said, my journey to get here in Elden Ring wasn't so easy, and if you want to see how that went, then check out this video on screen now.